What's good, everybody? This is Ray Daniels, aka the Culture Referee, and I'm here to talk to you about Two Loss Distribution. They are one of the most technologically advanced distributors in music. They distribute to more stores than any of the distributors around. They distribute, they give you 100% of your royalties. They only charge you $3 a month, and you have an instant option to get an advance from these guys. So if you're watching this and you want to be in the music business and you're trying to figure out how to get help, I'm here to tell you, go to twoloss.com and use the word GODS as your coupon code, and you get the first 3 months free. What's good, everybody? This is Ray Daniels, and this is the God Show. Let's go. and this is Financial Literacy Month. I said it right. You guys don't know this, but I have my executive producer stares at me like, she reminds me of a school teacher. She just looks at me like, don't. Now, Raymond, you know. So I got it right, KG? All right, cool. And today we have a very special guest, a good friend of mine named Dora Whitley, who I think is absolutely brilliant, calls me and says, you got to talk to this person, you got to talk to her now. Didn't ask me. It was like, got to break. No, you got to talk to her right now. It's important, boom, boom. And I was like, okay, cool. Put it with KG. KG was like, you got to talk to her right now. I'm like, man, she's impressive, because I got women who don't push nothing, pushing. Like, you got to talk to her, which means that you are important. So I want everybody to welcome Ashley M. Fox. Let's go. Let's welcome her. The founder of Empify and a leading advocate in the financial literacy space, and our hope, especially for our community.
Yes.
Because, so there's a statement I'm gonna ask you, do you think it's true? I think the two things holding black people back is health and financial literacy. I think if we focus a lot of our energy on learning that, I think it changes our trajectory. What would you say to that?
I would also add mindset to that too.
So hold on, so health and well, yeah, but
I think it overarches both of them.
I think it does. The reason why I say that is because we try to focus on a lot of bigger issues. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, like family issues, and then it's like we gonna figure that out. But I do know life is much harder when you don't have money.
Correct.
As a person that was once poor, that is no longer poor, I know how hard life is with nothing. I know how hard it is to love each other when you have nothing. I know how hard it is for a husband to love his wife, a wife to love her husband, the kids to appreciate it. It's like money is the one thing that they say shouldn't matter, but is the one thing that gives us the freedom to be ourselves.
Absolutely.
So that's why I focus in health, because, you know, we, especially black men, are dying at a rapid rate early in life. And I'm like, man, like, if we just really put some energy in that, I think it would change, instead of focusing on race relations. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
gotcha. Yeah.
Racism, and like that's going to be there. Focus on these two things, making sure we healthy and making sure that we understand money and wealth.
I agree.
And laws. That'll probably be the third one I would say. But yeah, so how'd you get into financial literacy?
So I actually wanted to make a lot of money and wear nice clothes. So I went to Howard University, majored in finance, and I figured I majored in the subject of money. Okay. So when I got to Howard, I knew that Wall Street paid $10,000 in the summer. This is back then. I don't know.
$10,000 in the summer to do what?
For an internship.
What?
And I said, I want that job.
Shit, that's great. And so
when I was at Howard, I had 4 internships, 3 of them at Wall Street banks. And I lived in New York for a while, and I realized I want this life. I like the prestige. I like the success. It was one of the highest paying jobs out of school. So I graduated Howard, and I worked at asset management. So I worked for one of the biggest banks in the world, managing rich people all day. So if you had at least $25 million, it was our job to manage your money, to protect it, to grow it, and to properly pass it down. So I saw the ins and outs to what wealthy people did with their money, from where they live, where they shopped, where they traveled, what they read, everything. And I'm from Philly, so I went back home to Philly, and people thought I was rich. So at this point, I'm making 6 figures. I got the money. I'm traveling the world, and I realized that there's a misconception of what true wealth is in this country. But after about 8 months of being there, I realized, you know, this is cool, but it has to be something more. And I wanted to be on the other end of the table. And I knew that even if I stayed in my job for 10 years, I would have never been the client. And so I realized there's 2 ways to truly build wealth in this country. You invest in your own idea, or you invest in somebody else's idea. And I realized that I wanted to create my own idea. But interestingly enough, I always wanted to be a teacher. But teachers didn't make Wall Street money, so that's why I went the Wall Street route.
I did too.
But I wanted to financially educate the world and the 99% that Wall Street often overlooks. And so 3 years later, after studying our clients, reading all the books they read, traveling to the places they traveled, I ended up leaving my job to financially empower those that didn't get the opportunity to make it to the 27th floor that I was working on overlooking Park Avenue.
Sure.
And then I made up this word called Empify, because one of the biggest things, and this is where I mentioned the mindset, there's not a lack of financial education at this point in time.
Nope.
There's a lack of belief that we deserve it. And that's a mindset shift.
I was going to say, I don't think it's a, yes. I was going to say it differently. I was going to say there is a lack of effort to learn it.
Correct. Which is will.
That's what I say. Which
it's
is
not
will
skill.
Inside of you. Yeah.
We could teach it, but if we don't identify it, if we're not, I mean, I wanted to be a billionaire because I was in the bank accounts of billionaires, right? I was the first person in my family to graduate from college.
Yeah.
And we grew up middle class, but I was making more money than both my parents in my early 20s. So my perception of what's possible for me is what I saw every day. Not everybody, especially an African American, wants to go to Wall Street, makes it to Wall Street, let alone is around millionaires and billionaires all day. Sure. So when I left Wall Street, I wanted to change the mindset. I wanted people to believe that while they started with $100 million when they bought their stocks, I started with $100. While they rented a huge yacht in the south of France, I'm going to south of France. My yacht was a little bit smaller, but for me, success leaves clues. I just followed the blueprint.
Exactly.
And for me, I just wanted to be able to take what I learned and give it to the group of people that Wall Street probably won't talk to because they don't have the money that they need to get access to the tools that I saw every day.
And what year was this?
2010.
When you decided that? I already said.
Well, 2010 was when I graduated college. 2013, July 12th, 2013 is when I left Wall Street.
Okay, cool. And you've been on your own since then?
Yes.
How's that been?
I'm
only asking you that because I feel like financial literacy became very popular in the pandemic.
Recently. So it's interesting. What I've been doing for years, the world, people are just starting to do. So I've taught in prison systems. I've taught in school systems. I've gotten contracts with universities. I've taught all over the country, impacted the lives of millions of people. And I saw what the world needed in 2013. Whether they were ready to receive it was another thing, but that didn't stop me from being able to create Empify. Now I think I'm in a space where we are the middleman between the banking system and the everyday person. I have data to prove that I can get a group of people to invest $200,000 to $300,000 in a month, but they're investing their money. We're giving them the empowerment, the education, and the resources. But I know that the people that I serve, the banking system may not want to serve that audience, but it doesn't mean that they can't be their customers. And I think there's this barrier, mental barrier, but also a trust barrier. I don't want to be the bank, but we need the financial institutions. And I mean, if we're being honest, they technically run this country.
For sure.
So,
absolutely.
But I understand Wall Street, and I know what they can't do that we can do. And I understand the customer, and I know what they don't believe they can do. And I can instill that belief, give them the resources, give them the education, and develop a universal language that translates Wall Street knowledge to the everyday person.
I love that. It sounds very similar to what I did in music. Like, I got a feel of it, and I was like, I like the way this feel. It wasn't even being important. It was just important people knowing me. Like, what's up, Ray? And I'm like, shit, I'm somebody. So I understand the feeling. And I'm passionate about teaching. That's why I do this. Because I'm like, I was a dumbass in high school. And I think about what my life would have been if I woke up at 16, 14, 15, than waking up at 22, 23 like I did. Because I basically was 7 years behind. Because now I'm running behind. You know, I'm 22 trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. But I love that you said that. So what are the two things? Or is that like code? Because, you know, sometimes here's my thing. When I talk to people, and this is me, like you can ask me anything and I give it. So sometimes you ask people and they're like, well, that's in the book. So like, okay, well,
oh, no,
so is that for the book or is that for us?
No, you mean the two things?
Yes.
So the way you got to look at this country is the world isn't divided by race. It isn't divided by asset class. It's divided by employees, investors, and business owners. Taxes benefit the most business owners and investors. Now, I have been an employee, I have ran a business, and I am an employee of my business, right? I was not the best employee on Wall Street. And I had to learn how to become the woman I am today. So, and the things that I have gone through as an entrepreneur, I might have been a little bit scared when I quit Wall Street if I would have known what I'm going through I'm going through to get to this point. So it's not for everybody. And I think we live in a world where entrepreneurship is so sexy. It's not for everybody.
I want to say something though. Stay there. That's important to say. When they say you have to be delusional, that's where it comes from. And I don't want to kill anyone's delusion. Because if I knew what I knew now, I probably wouldn't have went into music. I'd have been like, fuck no, this is too hard. Because I thought I could do it. And sometimes that thought is the drive that all you need to get there.
Right.
So it is hard, but you would do it.
Yeah, I mean, but I also never left Wall Street to make money. People thought I was crazy. You know, you making six figures, you're working with billionaires. Why do you now want to teach kids in the prison system? You know, like, so what Empify for me wasn't a business. It was a calling. You could give me $100 million right now, and I wake up every single day to do what I do. Calling, yep. There is no plan B. I believe when there's something so much bigger than you that you're willing. I've been kicked out of my apartment. I have lost friends. I have lost everything, and I would do it again because I know I'm damn good at what I do.
Exactly.
But some people just want to make extra money, which is fine. I want to change the world, right? So there is no stopping. But it's not for everybody. Like what I'm going through now, like, I mean, I thought it was about making money in business. Now it's about managing people and leading people in business. That's a whole different ballgame that I didn't learn majoring in finance in college. So while it's not for everybody, you can always invest in some other delusional person. Exactly. So for example, Amazon makes over $100 billion every 90 days. I just bought ketchup the other day on Amazon. If we're okay with giving our money to these companies, and again, I like nice things, I like to shop. Well, let's talk about investing in these companies too. Exactly. And investing in the stock market allows you on a smaller scale to get into businesses, and as they grow, your net worth grows with it. I mean, you're gonna give your money to the companies anyway. That's the reason why they're $1 trillion businesses that exist in America. Yeah. We can be on the other end of that table by investing in those businesses. Now, again, you can go create your own business for sure, right? But if that's not for you, working for the rest of your life, saving your money and spending is not gonna make you wealthy. We know a lot of people that work so hard and they got good jobs and they might own a home, but they're not wealthy, right? And it's like, what does it look like if you don't have to work for money, if you don't want to, right? What if choosing to work was an option, not a standard in your life, right? But what if we live that life and we pass it down and our kids are set? Like, that's what I saw on Wall Street. Exactly. That takes a different type of being to say, I'm breaking this generational curse. And it's on me, not the government, not my job, not the school system. I'm the one that's going to do this. But you have to rewire your brain and unlearn a lot of what the system has embedded in your mind, what you grew up around. And that's what I spend more time doing. Buying a stock is simple. You can buy a stock in 5 seconds. Takes 5 minutes to open a brokerage account and buy a stock, right? But at the same time, what keeps you from saying every time I walk into this building or I use this product, can I own a piece of that company? How do we go from becoming an owner versus the consumer? And I mean, if we talk about black people, we have a $1.3 trillion buying power. We're not broke. That's money after we pay our bills. We're just good at spending. And the world knows it. Why don't we know that we're the reason America even exists? There's no stock market without your consumption. So what if we consume and we own at the same time?
Exactly. But I still want to know, what are the two things? I want to make sure I got it.
Sorry, that's all I got there. So one is either investing in your own idea. So you create your own company. Or you invest in somebody else's idea. And you can do that by investing in somebody's startup, which is like venture capital or private equity or something like that. Or you can invest in the stock market. And that your money has to work for you regardless. So you're either going to create your own or you're going to invest in somebody else who decided to create their own.
It's funny because I have a financial advisor. He's been my friend for over 20 years at least. I met him at talent shows. Like, he would be at talent shows. Shout out to Rob Remley. He would be at talent shows and he would give his card out.
Where does he work?
William Blair.
Oh, I know him.
He handles my money.
Yeah, I
love Rob. So Rob and I was speaking, and I was asking him. I was like, because I'm like trying to plan my future, but I've committed to, like, I've always had like jobs in the business, but I've always had my own company. But I was like, I don't want a job in the business no more. And I was like, I want to figure out how to do my own thing.
Right.
And I was like, how do the really, really rich live without money coming in? And he just started laughing. He said, my really rich clients are the ones who don't have money coming in. They're just living off their money. So when he said that, I was like, it changed. And by the way, I still, because obviously as much as I am in a very successful place in life, but I'm trying to scale.
Correct.
So when I'm trying to scale, like, I'm paying people that work here, but I'm not paying them. I'm paying them from Rob and Paul and Rob and Peter. Like, music takes care of me. So I'm investing in this other thing. So I'm kind of like, Rob, how should I do this? And I want to start paying taxes. Everybody's 1099, but he was like, I'm gonna teach you. So it's weird that I didn't want to learn that because until I got to the place where I could do it, because I don't believe in window shopping.
But I believe in window dreaming.
I'm a man. I can't.
Okay.
Like,
well, so I'm
a woman can, but a man, like you don't want to be with no man that's like, babe, one day working hard, I'm gonna get you that car. It's like, if you don't go get that shit for me right now.
No, I believe in window dream. I remember when I was at one of my lowest points in life, and I was living in Philly because I got kicked out of my apartment in Harlem, and I started Empify in Philly, and I was just down.
Yeah.
So I took a bus to New York.
Yeah.
And I walked all the way down Fifth Avenue. I went through every store. I tried on clothes. I tried on a watch.
After getting fired from your job, you left.
No. Well, wait. I didn't get fired. I quit.
You said left. I'm sorry,
I left. But after I started Empify, one of the biggest things I recognize is that when you leave and you start a business, you don't make money every 2 weeks.
You don't.
Like, you don't.
That's
And so
part.
when you think the check is coming and it doesn't clear or it's late, like,
or they like, you didn't turn in this piece of paperwork to turn in that. It's like, man,
so there were points where even as building Empify, I missed payroll. There were points where I couldn't pay myself. Like there were points I had to borrow money. I built Empify on an unlimited Amex Platinum credit card, if I'm being honest.
That's real.
But for me, I know if I can see it, touch it, feel it, even for that second, I know I could get it. So I would go down Fifth Avenue and I would operate like I'm Ashley that makes millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And how much is this? I'm trying this on, but it put me in the space of the clients that I served. Even when I left Philly, I had lived in Paris for like a whole summer, and I was living off my stocks because I had I was kind of going through eat, pray, love kind of thing. I moved back to New York, the one place that I felt filled my cup.
Yeah.
And it was these new apartment buildings in downtown Manhattan, floor to ceiling windows. I wanted it. And I didn't have enough money to afford it. I moved my storage unit across the street from that building. I would drive around there every time I got sad. I probably toured that building 4 times, acting like I had the money. I run a tech startup. They don't know how much money you make, just so I can feel the feeling. I started to furnish the apartment. I started to save all the furniture because I knew at some point in life I was going to have it. So for me, I got to trick myself into believing that my current reality does not dictate my financial future.
I get that. A woman can show up.
I don't think it's a gender
hear me out.
thing.
I'm gonna tell you why. A woman can show up. Look at Pretty Woman. We ain't never had a pretty man where it's a nice guy walks in, the girl. Like, it's just like men have to earn. Women don't always have to earn to have the life.
That's not true.
No. I'm saying don't always. Like, it's not me pointing out negative. I'm just saying, as a woman, like, if I hang out in rich places, they looking at me like, what the fuck you doing here?
What do you think they do with me? I don't even look like I work in finance.
No, you don't, but you are a pretty girl. And all it takes is one man to be like, how you doing? What's your name? And now you meet a rich nigga. It can work. Listen, if you want to meet a rich nigga, hang out with a rich niggas on. You'll meet one. I don't know. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm just saying, like, I'll give you my story. I used to, and somebody told me I should tell this. I don't know why. So let me tell you a story. My thing was houses.
Okay.
Like, I would ride to nice houses, to nice neighborhoods and look at houses and be like, one day I'm going to do this. Here's a crazy part. One day, this rich guy, we rode through his neighborhood and he flagged my car down. Like, he had a cul-de-sac. So we rode past, so I came back to cul-de-sac and rode past. And I guess black kids ride through the neighborhood all the time looking at houses. So he kind of stops like, what y'all doing in my neighborhood? And I'm like, man, we in the music business. I don't want y'all around my neighborhood. Boom, boom, boom. And I was like, what? And I pulled off and he punched the guy in the front seat in the mouth. And we called the police. Police arrested him. And then his lawyer says to us, when we in court, his lawyer says to us, he was like, y'all probably just some kids that want some money from a rich client. I swear, I said, I'm gonna be rich one day, nigga. I just want an apology from that nigga in front of the whole courtroom. And our people was like, why y'all do it? I could sue him. I'm like, fuck that. That nigga think that I'm gonna get rich the right way, nigga. And my house is 3 times the size of that nigga house. And my mother house was twice the size of that nigga house. And my point is that I went through that. But look what happens when I'm window shopping. I get attacked. Like, what y'all little niggas doing over here? It was a white guy. But I'm only saying to say that I understand the dream, but I guess as a man, I don't want nice things without a nice house to have someone come home to.
Okay.
And I guess that housing cars was my thing. I buy nice shit, but it's like, I don't need that, but I want a nice house and a nice car. That's why I was saying that. So I understand what you mean by that. I was just giving you a hard time. I'm like, I can't window shop as a man. So you have I was being told before I don't have my cue cards up. but they was telling me something about your relationship with your father. I'm being funny, y'all. They was telling me something about your relationship with your father. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I have a 6-year-old daughter who'll be 7 next week. And when it's funny, because KG came in my office, my executive producer, and she starts breaking down, like giving me just like Dora and Mike told me this. And I'm listening. I'm like, her father did. Oh my God, that's so amazing. Like, I want to hear about that as a father. Because I'm a father raising a little girl, and all I don't want her to do is end up like the girls I used to meet when I was younger. Like, I don't want to be like them. I'm like, they ain't went nowhere. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm asking. So could you talk a little bit about your father, what he did for you, set you up, or just how he planned for your future?
Got you. So my dad was in law enforcement. So my father recently passed away a little over a year ago.
R.I.P. to your father.
Thank you. And growing up, I was raised by 2 parents. Mom and dad been together for over 40 years. And
let's celebrate. Let's celebrate that shit, nigga. Mom and dad been together all this time. I love that. Keep going.
And my dad was rough. He was rough. He worked in law enforcement. Man raised in the 60s.
Tough.
So tough, like, didn't really say I love you much.
Yeah, tough. Like, my mom was the same way. Like, they didn't grow up with love. Like,
but my dad was a provider. Top notch.
Okay.
Never needed anything. But as a girl, sometimes, because I had the provider, I wanted the emotional love. Okay. I wanted the I'm proud of you and congratulations kinda. My dad just he pushed me, which allowed me to be successthrough. And
I'm glad that you said that. I
think you need a balance, because I've also been through, I have 2 executive coaches, a spiritual advisor, a therapist. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on Ashley as a person.
Me too.
So it took me a long time to learn that my daddy loved me.
Yeah.
And why I was the woman that I am today, right?
Yeah.
From the good things that happened to the most challenging things that happened as a child. And I got to a point where I realized my dad did so much for everybody. And it was about time he took care of himself. But a man that gives so much isn't always the best receiver.
Yeah.
And he's taking care of my mom. He's taking care of us. And when my dad passed away, my whole world changed. That was like the first major death that I experienced. And
my father was mine too.
Okay.
So I understand that.
And then when he passed, everything was in order. Everything. So you're talking about somebody who's been in the financial industry for over 15 years. I didn't even know if my dad fully knew what I did for a living. He just, he might have saw me on TV, do things on social. But he had everything in order. From every password to every bank account, to every insurance policy. Everything was set up to a point where my mom doesn't have to work for the rest of her life. She didn't have to when he was living. She didn't have to in his passing. So you would have thought my dad went to the Empify school his whole life. Yeah. But I learned that who my father was and what he did for us and who I became, while I would say it was a Wall Street thing, I learned it was in my DNA. Because I'm like the enhanced version of my father. Like when I went to my dad's funeral, it was over 300 people. I didn't even know my dad talked to people. But there were so many people who loved him, people from all walks of life. And when everything was in order, it made me realize, like, if he can do it, and he had a government job, he wasn't working on Wall Street, he wasn't making millions of dollars, he prioritized what mattered most to him, and that was his family. And when I saw what he could do, and I saw how much he made, when he started building, from every account that was changed, every beneficiary that was updated, from when I was born to when I have a younger brother and sister, to see what he did for us, it was like, if there was any doubt that my father didn't love me or care, it was completely evident in his passing. And I realized, though, which is what I think is the biggest differentiator, because my dad was in law enforcement, every day when he went to work, he didn't know if he was coming home. So because of that, if I'm a provider for my family, if something ever happens to this provider, I have to make sure my family's ready.
So it's crazy, because as I'm hearing your story, so I take being a father very serious. My father died at 22. My entire life I heard that there was a policy, there'll be something for you. My dad died when I was chasing the music business. And he just died. And when he died, it was like, this insurance policy, it lapsed. And the crazy thing was that I was relieved it lapsed.
Okay.
I didn't want to benefit from his death. I just wanted to honor him.
What's so interesting? My dad thought the same thing. And this is where we didn't see eye to eye, because the whole purpose of you being here is for your family to live like kings and queens.
I agree.
But he wasn't. Now me, I'm like the way the billionaires think.
Yeah.
You're gonna have money for the rest of your life if Ashley Fox is not here. And not just enough to live, but Ashley M. Fox, you right.
I gotta correct you too. I'm just saying, let's go. I gotta correct you too for yourself. Let's go.
But you know, my father thought like that.
Yeah.
Because in his life, he had his parents pass away, he had siblings pass away, and he watched people fight and take things from his, from those who passed, and he didn't like it.
Yeah.
So. So I think there's levels to passing down love.
I was gonna say, so when you said about your father, I'm naturally go to my father, and I'm like, why wasn't my father ready? I forgot. Every day your father left the house,
right?
It could have been.
And I actually just learned that not too long ago.
Because when people don't realize that there's a why for everything, and like I said, I'm a father. Like my father dying was my father dying is the only reason I am here right now. Because when my father died, I remember he died. I had to go back to work. I was working at Delta because he was sick. I used that as reason to get off work because the story is that September 11th happens. I'm working at Delta at an airline. Delta, all the airlines are going down. No one wants to fly.
Right.
We had war. So Delta basically told all employees, don't come back to work. Like if you want 1 year off, 5 year off, 10 years off, tell us so you can have it. So I took a year off. I'm like, maybe somebody just asked me how with music. I'm like, maybe this is my opportunity to go for this. They called me back to work December. My father, I'm in New York. I'm hanging out at parties. I'm trying to come up. And I was like, I don't want to go back to work. And my father was sick. He had HIV. So my father said, use my HIV as your excuse. Like, tell him my father was out moving the streets. He was having a good time. I was like, cool. Did that. He died March 3rd, 2002. Delta calls me back to work April 1st because they do a monthly check-in. He died. They checked on the 1st. He was alive. 1st of April, he's gone. Come back to work. And I'm like, fuck, this is life. My mom was like, you gonna make $60,000 a year in 10 years? Like, this is great for you. And I remember thinking, if my dad was Bill Cosby, nobody would be telling me that. If my dad was somebody, y'all wouldn't be telling me that. Because if Bill Cosby's son worked at Delta, everybody would be like, well, what's wrong with you? And that's when it hit me. My father, who he is, set the tone for who I'm gonna be. I quit Delta that day. And I was like, I'm gonna go for it. And I did. And I always remembered his name, and I always remembered that. So when I heard about your dad, I just love it because as a father, that's all we can really do.
Right.
Is just make sure that we leave something for our family. And I ain't gonna lie, I wanna live something for my family. I ain't trying to leave shit. I mean, I got all this shit together, but you think I'm making money so I can enjoy this shit?
Well, you could do, but you could do both though.
No, I agree. No, I agree. But thank God, I stayed alive enough. I worked hard enough that all my shit is in order now.
Oh, okay.
Like my houses is paid off, my cars are paid off. I got insurance policy. I got money. It's all together now. But the point is that I still, when I hear you speak about your father, I still remember like it's so dope how, and I want people to hear this because there might be a young girl that dad is just like yours. And she might not understand because when you're a kid, you just kind of like, daddy, why you not hugging me?
Right.
You see the other kids that like, why you not doing like that? That's kind of what you want. Take me to the father-daughter dance. Like, and you might not know, he was out there seeing probably dead bodies every day, seeing people die, seeing kids dying, like seeing women dying. He coming home with that shit on his heart. So he don't even know. He just happy you alive and smiling. It's like, man, because he sees the ugly side of the world. So when I hear about fathers, I always be like, man, we don't give our parents enough grace.
Yeah.
I feel like we be so hard on them. Like, oh, why didn't, like, nigga, they didn't know.
Right.
Like, but they did their best and it's our turn.
And I learned that through therapy though.
Yeah, me too. I got an executive coach. I do it all.
I didn't understand then.
Yeah.
I know now. Yeah. And I know I think I learned more about my dad in his passing.
I'm about to say, that's what I was about to ask you. Did you learn, was it like therapy learning while he's alive?
Yeah. So I learned my relationships with men.
Yes.
My detachment from people, my overachieverness. A lot of that came from my childhood.
What's your sign?
Capricorn.
I hate when I have signs around here. They hate when I have signs. They hate it. I'm a Virgo. Capricorn. They hate when I have signs. I'm like, this nigga. Nah. I'm only asking you because I'm like, I love black love, and I love I think that if more black men understood the power of their presence, they would be more present. Because I think, no disrespect. I'm just saying. I think a lot of black men feel like if I'm not a financial provider, I'm nothing.
Right.
You got to be that. But your presence is power.
No, that's true.
Like you could, like I always like look at the Straight Outta Compton. What's good, everybody? This is Ray Daniels, aka the Culture Referee. And if you were wondering who this beautiful woman sitting next to me is my sister Tiffany Daniels Sai. Let's give it up for my sister. Everybody can clap. This is good. And my sister she's the most talented person in the family, and we started a family business, a signature scent company. So if you like smoke a lot of weed in your car and you want to get the scent out, you have to check out these scents. I know guys that use it for the weed. I know people that use it for cologne, and everywhere they go to get compliments. We make candles. We make
room sprays. We got them in kits. So if you want to buy something for your loved one or anybody you know that you care about, hit us up, LorraineCo.com.
And we're going to put the website at the bottom of it. But support this black business, support this black woman, and order, I promise you guys. As a matter of fact, use the word gods, and we'll give you 15% off. I just made that up, so if my sister's face looks crazy, don't get mad at her. I'll eat that. But guys, when I tell you this shit is incredible, you really should check this out.
The best scents ever.
LorraineCo.com. And we'll put it at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.
Thanks.
The movie. The only nigga that stood on business was the only nigga that had a father in the house, Ice Cube. He was only, I'm not signing that. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, I'm signing. They ain't got their mama like, get that money. The father's like, we gonna figure it out. When you have a father in your life, the confidence that you walk with having your father is like nothing in the world. Yeah. The world can't break you if your father has that confidence in you. That's why I like, when I heard about how your dad makes sure everything's together, I was like, oh, like that's amazing, man. And then look at, I thought it was like he did that and that made you take on.
No. So he did that and it made life 100 times more purposeful. Now it's like, I'm the CEO of the Fox family. Yeah. I'm the one that has to make sure we're good. Like when my dad passed, I assumed that role. Because I also learned that we're identical too, me and my father. I am just like my dad to the T.
Any brothers?
Yes.
Oh, you must be the oldest.
I am. Yeah.
I'll tell people, it's two things that when you meet people, it's two things that matter. Their sign and their birth order. Where they was born to. But that birth order tells you everything, because you can be older than me, but you the baby of your family, you gonna act like a baby still. You the oldest. So that's why I'm like, you took it on, you ain't got no brothers? Oh, you must be the oldest, because you my little sister. I'm like, sit your ass down. You ain't about to overachieve around here. Like, I got this shit, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was asking you that, because I'm a big brother. So it just made it that's why I was able to manage so easily. All I did was treat everybody I managed like a sibling.
Got you.
Like I've been raising and protecting my siblings since I didn't even know I was raising them or developing them until when you're a kid. That's another thing we don't talk about. When you're a kid, you don't know what's really happening.
Right.
It's until you become an adult. You do the work. You go out and fail, bump your head, get hurt, and then realize, damn, that was good that my father told me that. Damn, and now you want to appreciate me in here. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So that's how
I think prior to his passing, I learned a lot about who I am and why I am the way I am.
Tell me some things.
I used to deflect from love. Like, I was that girl. Somebody was always in my life. Yep. But I wasn't in a relationship.
You didn't receive it.
No, and it was really hard. I wasn't a hugger. It was a lot. Yeah. But when you think the man in your life doesn't love you, or
love you, it's not soft on you.
Correct. Because again, my dad loved me through the best way he knew how. And it's interesting because my dad loved me the way his parents loved him.
My mom the same.
So I got a mom who loves, and I got a dad who's rough. Yeah. I got a dad who doesn't like nice things. I'm coming working on Wall Street. My mom was waiting for me to get a private jet. I had so many conflicting views, and I had to learn which view came from where and what I wanted my story to be. And I had to learn how to be grateful for my father. I had to learn how to accept him for who he was. Yes. I had to learn how to heal whether I got an apology or not from him. Yep. So it took me time. I had to release a lot of anger towards him. Yes. But by the time my father passed away, I had made peace with loving him for who he was, not who I wanted him to be then and or now. And then in his passing, it made who I was in finance. Like, it's interesting because in his passing, I had made more money than I had ever made in the span of like 6 months. And I was in therapy and we were talking, and it was as if I used to feel guilty for making money. Like when I made my first million, I didn't want to tell my dad because sometimes I felt like the more successful I was, it was making my dad feel less valuable. It almost
contradicts his life.
Yeah.
Because he did the blue collar way, and here you are,
and I'm quitting the job. Yeah, he didn't like that at all.
Yeah, because it reminds him of what he could have done if he had the heart you had.
Right.
Or, and probably in his mind, and I don't know your father, but I'm just a man, like, or if he had the parents you had. Mm-hmm. Because remember, he just gave you what his mom gave him, his family gave him. So he'd be like, if I had you, what's no telling what? So that's what.
Yeah, my dad he didn't want me to go far to college. I wanted a Mercedes. I need to get a regular car. My dad also needed to have control, and I'm like that too. So, but in his passing, I learned through therapy that it was as if the ceiling of me being so big and so present and so abundant was lifted because I wasn't good enough without the money. I wasn't good enough with the money, but it was tied to me being accepted by my dad. And so when my dad passed, it was like, damn, he loved you. Yeah. He loved all of you. When you and then it was interesting because everybody around my dad, all the people we met, they knew all about our whole life. And it was like he didn't really talk much when he was at home, but he clearly talked to everybody that came to the funeral. So it was just like, I learned the side of my father that, like, my dad was a human. He was more. He was my dad.
He was more than your dad.
Yeah, to the world. He was like, he was what I am to the world, to his community. Yeah. And it was like, wow. Like it was. I was honored to be my father's child. Yeah. Like, and it was just amazing to see. But when in his passing, and not just in his passing, but learning that he actually loved me, and his whole life was designed to take care of us. Yeah. And we're in a space where we have money and wealth that'll be with us for the rest of our life. And it's like all of that for me, and I didn't even know. So in that moment, it just made me realize you are good enough. Yeah. And I think when that ceiling was lifted, it was like life became so much more purposeful, not even just from what I had already built, but the legacy I had to carry on because of him. It's like I can't unsee what it feels like to be the recipient of generational wealth. Yeah. I taught it. I saw it on Wall Street. I created my own generational wealth.
The path.
Yeah, like, and now it's like I know what it feels like to be the recipient, and everything that I've done with Empify. So I don't teach what I don't do. Yeah. So if I'm like, I don't teach crypto. That ain't my thing. I stay in my lane. But everything that I have lived and experienced, I teach to the world. So then it became, what does it look like to show all the people I've taught how to invest and how to build wealth? How do I show them how to pass it down?
At what moment in time of your life did that happen? Was it always in you, or did you see something? I'll give you an example. I'll tell you me. I remember coming up in the music business, and I remember I just was tired of getting played. Because all I was trying to do was figure out a way to feed my family. And it's like, but I'm walking into this new fraternity of guys. It's like, oh yeah, you want to do that? Go over there. And I go like, okay. And then they snarkling. And I'm like, what the fuck's so funny? That I go in there and get my ass whipped by somebody. Or not physically, but you know what I mean? Like some stupid shit. And then it's like, come out. And I'm like, and they laugh. And I'm like, oh. And I was like, God, if I get there, I'll never be a fuck nigga. I'll give it away. If somebody wants it, I'm going to share it. I'm not going to be them niggas. And as I got higher, I realized why they didn't help me. It's because they couldn't. They want just every man in the business ain't the same man. If you know that, like everybody ain't the same. Some people got that burning desire to be more, and some people like where they are. And when I got there, I was like, them niggas didn't know. That's why they was laughing at me, because it was like, you stupid ass, we don't know either. Go in that door. And I got my ass whipped, and I'm like, oh, okay. But I know now, and that's why I wanted to codify it. I didn't want to. That's why I love the name Empify. I'm like, because I understand what you meant by that. It's like I'm going to translate this in a way where you can get it, and that's what I feel like I'm doing. So kudos to you. I just want to give you that credit and I love the fact that you did the work. I don't like that blaming shit.
Nope, not me either.
I don't like that blaming shit. I will ask you. So you feel like you have to carry? It's a 2-part question. I kind of know the first answer, but I got to accept the second one. Do you feel like you have to carry on the family's legacy? Your dad's legacy, specific.
So if you ask my coaches, sometimes I put the pressure on myself to do it, and it becomes a responsibility.
I was about to ask you that.
But there is also a part of me that I wouldn't have it any other way either.
Of course, but here's why I asked you that. So you're a woman. It's different for women and men. Men are responsible for the legacy and the name. Women aren't.
By whose rules?
No,
what book you reading?
No, I'm glad you said that, because it's no rules to it. Okay. But my point is that I know if someone marries me, they taking my motherfucking name. I was asking you. Like, I'm like, I feel like that's a conversation. That's why you laughing. I'm like, I feel like that's a conversation with a nigga. Like, he dating. He's like, yo, so babe, like, I mean, are you gonna be one of us, or are you gonna be carrying that? Cause the way God's order makes it feel is when a woman gets married, her father gives her to her husband, and that family, she becomes a part of that family now. That's why she takes their last name, and that's how they kept the families together. But I'm listening, so I'm looking at him like, what would it be like for a guy that's like, how's that conversation? Cause you can't tell me you haven't had it. Cause only type of man that would think like that is an alpha male. A beta wouldn't even get that far. But so, you probably wouldn't even know, you probably wouldn't even let a beta get close. So I'm just curious, how does that work?
So I think everyone has the alpha and beta in them.
Okay.
I don't think you are only an alpha and you are only a beta, male or female. That is just my personal thought. Now, in regards to the last name, prior to even before anything of my dad, I always felt like Ashley M. Fox was going to be $1 billion name. And I got a fox tattooed on me. It's my only tattoo.
Okay.
But I always thought I would get hyphenated.
Oh yeah, I'm just imagining, like, you know, like
I'm just
listening to you.
I'm not against it. It would just take some unlearning.
Nigga.
It would take. No, I don't think that's no. It's
I don't believe that you, Mike. Do you believe some average nigga? You are. Listen, I have so many female friends like you, driven, pretty, ready to take over the world. I'm like,
no,
God,
but
it's gonna be hard. Because it's like, it's two types of men. No, hear me out, KG. Hear me out. Because I'm saying, KG, is like, I don't believe you are alpha or beta. I believe you are what you were raised to be. I believe you are alpha because I believe it goes back to you are a birth order. You did, so that means you had little men around you, but you were the boss of your little brothers. I mean, am I tripping?
I guess.
That's what I'm saying. But like, you were the boss. That's what I'm saying. So my point is
I was just the oldest.
That's my point. So in that case, you can be the alpha because you have to be. You're the oldest. You're your father's oldest child.
Okay.
You have to take that on. But what I'm saying to you,
there's so many times in life and things about me that is beta. Too,
because you're naturally a woman, though. It's supposed to be that.
So how does that operate differently than if you're men are not naturally alpha?
I can tell you how. I don't agree with that. Look at the men in the room. Every man in the face like, I don't know about that. Hear me out. Let me tell you what I mean by that. What I mean by that is like a woman, when you meet the alpha male that you see as alpha, everybody else can see an alpha. You can see a lame. You can see a square, but that you see as an alpha.
Okay.
Because you were you don't even see it. You were naturally trained to be an alpha female who wanted to impress a man. You were naturally, because you had a strong, powerful father.
Okay.
So that's in you already. So you're already in you. So you think some regular nigga, you gonna want to impress him? No, he gonna have to impress you first. And then you'll impress him. Am I right or wrong?
That's okay. I agree with that.
Okay, so him impressing you is because he is in his natural habitat. I'm not saying he's coming in the room acting like an alpha.
But how do you define that?
Define what?
I mean, if we're being technical.
Let's be technical. I like
pre-therapy, every man that I dealt with was my father. And it always ended up with the same head-on relationship that I had with my dad.
I want you to explain that. Go ahead.
I mean, you are attracted to what you're used to.
Of course.
You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. If I'm used to a man who's aggressive, I was emotionally abused, he was mean, he was tough, I was always, and he was a provider. That's what I was drawn to. But I never felt loved.
I get that. No, by the way, I understand that. But that was your father.
Yes.
I don't know if your mother has the same story about him.
Well, okay, it's a little different. My mom's father wasn't in her life. My dad was with my mom since she was a teenager.
But it's all perspective and relative, because if your mother grew up in a house where there was no love and no father, then that means any kind of love feels like love to her. And your father was consistent love. No, I'm being honest with you. Like, you got to remember, look, Katana's with me.
No, keep her
can I tell you why? You got to understand something. I always grew up knowing I had a great heart.
Okay.
Like, as a child, I always knew I was a sweet son. But my mother treated me like shit my whole life. Okay. And it was like, why the fuck do you treat me like I'm nothing? And I'm such a good person. I'm the one that's going to take care of you. And I did it. Mm-hmm. But my mother's an alpha woman. So even to this day, I still got to fight her.
Okay.
My mother will not say it's because of him. Mm-hmm. She don't give me that. She still say it's because of me. I put the shit in him. Fuck all of y'all. If I wasn't the way I was, who knows who we would have been? And I'm like, but what we don't admit is that there's a combination of people in our life who influence us to become who we are naturally. But when I'm listening to you and I'm hearing you talk about your father, I'm like, ooh, that's dope. I'm being honest with you. I want my daughter to be like that. That's how I want my daughter to be for me. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna teach my daughter the hyphen has to happen.
The hyphen what?
The hyphen has to happen.
Well, no, I would
keep that Daniels. We are not getting rid.
No. I wouldn't dare not take his last name.
No. I'm talking about me. Like, I got mad at my sister because she dropped Daniels. I had to, you know, my sister, Mike. Like, I had to talk to her. I was like, I didn't like that you married this man and took his last name. Like, I'm the one. Like I'm not the one building the motherfucking legacy. I see how father see it. Like I see how, like, as much as Tiffany is a year and a half younger than me, I raised her like I was her dad almost. I was like I was her biggest sibling. I was her dad. I didn't know I was her dad.
That is your ego.
No. Okay, let's say it is. Stop. I'm gonna stay with you, Ashley. I'm staying with you, Ashley and Fox. That is my ego. But serving ego is not always a wrong thing. Serving ego just means that I feel like I have an importance and a value to the world that I can bring to the world. And I believe that I can do it and going for it. You had a big ego. You making 6 figures and everybody like, God bless it. You like, God ain't blessing enough. I'm about to go get it. That's ego. That's like, I think I should have more. That is nothing wrong with that. That is actually an alpha personality.
Okay.
I love that. But what I'm telling you, and I'm just imagining you, because it's like, what can a man really, like, you understand money.
So
you know how to
what?
make it. No, but
I am in a relationship and I love my partner. He is everything.
I know. I'm not arguing that.
He is everything.
I'm just saying, but I was
Cut it out.
My concern wasn't my concern wasn't that. My concern was just
the last name.
The last name. How did you want to handle it? Because as a father, I'm going to talk to that with my daughter. My daughter's 7. We talking about that shit. You are not dropping. You think I work this hard? Like I told my sister, I'm like, your superpower is your last name is fucking Daniels. Mike and Dora and everybody's helping you because your last name Daniels, and you want to drop the shit to be a wife so bad. You better keep that Daniels.
Well, I would hyphenate it though.
That's what I said.
I don't want to lose.
That's all I wanted, Chad. I just wanted to get there. I wanted to make sure we got somewhere because I wanted to. Because even as a man, if there's a man watching this, she's obviously a pretty girl. You're obviously smart. You obviously know what it's like to have an interaction with a man. So that's very appealing to most men. But she a daddy's girl, and she carried that legacy like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And she built her name, like Tina Turner said, I earned the shit. I'm not changing.
But I'm also a teddy bear. I'm also a teddy bear too.
I'm not arguing that. No. You think I'm not arguing the coldness. I met you. Everybody loves you. You're a sweet woman. I'm just thinking like, I'm hearing you talking like, if somebody got to deal with that shit at home.
Oh my God.
And that's good. No, I'm talking about, no. What I mean by that is like, so hear me out. I'm in a relationship, right? But in my relationship, nigga, I call these shots.
Oh my God.
No, I don't mean it like, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that. What I mean like that is that my politics rise above everybody else's because my only responsibility is to provide and protect. So if you going against that means you don't want to be provided for or you don't want to be protected. I'm here to do both. So you ain't wearing that because to that place. Because I know if somebody says something out of line, we are coming. And now I put my whole life in danger to protect you when I could have just told you, don't wear something so sexual. That's what I mean by like, I run the show because my job is to protect. Now the house is ran by her. Run the house all you want. But when we step outside this motherfucker, when you walk in rooms, they treat you like that. Like what I'm basically asking you is, are we getting treated good because we are Mr. and Mrs. Daniels? Or are we getting treated good because we're Mr. and Mrs. Fox? That's what I was really trying to get to. You said you like the life. Like imagine how that feels when you walk in the room. M. Fox. Then they got to take an M. You better add an M, nigga. Your name is Michael M. Fox now, nigga. Then we go, and why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?
No, I wouldn't want a man
I'm saying, why wouldn't he? If you are thinking about tripping, it's like, damn.
That's like Kardashian.
That's Bill, you want to make the money? Oh shit, I'll be lazy. I ain't lazy. A nigga be lazy. Like you can take your dad last name. It's all good. We could be a fox. I ain't built like that.
Oh my God.
I ain't built like that. But I'm saying I can understand.
Not do that though.
I know you wouldn't.
I wouldn't dare, and I don't think I would want to be with somebody who would be okay with that either.
Cause you say you like a guy that's like your dad, and your dad was a man.
Well, no. So through therapy,
I'm saying it's good. By the way, I'm not trying to trap her.
No,
I love this. I'm admiring it. If I'm being honest with you, this is therapy for me because I'm gonna have this conversation with my daughter in like 20 years. I need to be ready for this shit. I'm just getting ready.
I learned. So when it was around my 30th birthday, I learned I was repeating the cycle. That all my situations Yeah, like the situations with men ended up the same.
Yep.
But they always ended. It ended making me feel how I felt with my dad.
Which is like you're not enough.
Not correct, or they didn't love me, right? And I watched how all through my 20s, I didn't allow love to get close.
Okay, but you got the
They
money
wanted to get married. They wanted to, but I kept you at a distance.
Yep.
Not because you weren't good enough, because I was afraid to when it's like, if you were to swallow aluminum, your body's naturally going to throw it up because it's not used to consuming it. So if I'm not used to receiving love, I'm naturally going to deflect from it.
Yep.
So I realized I didn't want to go through my 30s.
What make you recognize that?
Therapy.
No, what made you want to go to therapy?
Oh, because I went on Fox News one time, and like,
I know it got to be a reason, because that happened to me.
Yeah.
That's why I want to hear yours. I'll tell you mine, but I want to hear yours.
I went on Fox News, and so when I left Wall Street, the intent wasn't to be in the public eye. I just wanted to change the world in a way that I knew how, and I started to write for Forbes. I was on TV, and I went on TV, and you know how you like look at your picture or your videos, and like there was nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
I said everything I needed to say. I looked good. Everything was great, and I saw the direction my life was going.
Yeah.
And I knew I couldn't survive.
Why?
Because it would have been too many eyes on me, too much anxiety. I would have gotten frazzled.
You wasn't ready for the fame.
I wasn't ready for any of that. I just didn't think I wasn't. I mean, if you don't love the person in the mirror, then
because you were still having like daddy issues.
Yeah, I had all types of issues.
That makes sense. I was in a relationship with a girl. I was about to get married. We was all good, and I know she meant so well, but she just fucked the whole relationship up. Because she said to me one day, she says, "Babe, can I ask you a question?" Of course, babe. I don't know, I'm being set up. She was like, "Do you trust your mom?" And I was like, "Fuck no." Just me being honest at the time. I didn't trust my mom. And she was like, "How you gonna ever love and trust me if you can't love and trust the person you came from?" And that shit was like the motherfucker pulled my soul out my body. Oof. I was like, oh my God, I gotta go fix this. And I literally made my mission to fix my mother and my relationship. I went on a mission to fix it. I lost her though. Because I couldn't, she right, I can't love you. Right. I can't even start this relationship from here until I go fix that. And I don't think she ain't really like that. And I remember she was like, when we get married, I'm gonna come for your mom anyway, so why are we worrying about that? And I'm like, nah, this is done. I broke up with her that night. And I was like, nah, nobody tells me, don't tell no black man you coming for his mama. I don't give a fuck what the church say, unless her daddy is in her life. If she has a husband, you can tell him that all day, because she understands the divine order of that's your husband, that's who you with, that's who takes care of you. If you need me, I got you. But if she don't have a husband, oh nigga, y'all in a relationship with her too.
Right. Yeah.
It's just the honest truth, and that's what. And I knew that was gonna be my life, which is it. Like my mother is, I don't know. My mom don't give a fuck. My mom shows up, and I could be in a heated meeting with you. My mom will sit in the room and be like, "What the fuck y'all talking about?" And tell you, this my son. I know something wrong. What are we talking about? Mom! Fuck out! You know what I'm saying? But my mom is. But I'm saying, that's why I was asking. I'm like, no one has ever spoke to me like this. This is how I talk. Like, I'm like, man, I did the work. I did this. I realized I didn't have a relationship with my mother, so I did the work. I realized that my relationship with the world was wrong. My relationship with money was wrong. And I literally said, I'm a Virgo. I want to perfect life. I was like, I'm going to perfect this motherfucker. I'm going to have family, money, everything. And but I realized that every time I got to another level, I had to work on myself.
Right. That is true.
It's another piece. And so that's when we keep saying, I'm like, no. What happened? Right. Something made you say, nah. Yeah. I'm gonna stop this right now because I gotta fix that.
And I did. Yeah. And I learned I wasn't happy with Ashley. I didn't like who I saw in the mirror. I was so successful. I always thought I was going to be like a rich girl and would have maybe a boyfriend. I never thought I would get married. I never thought I would have love. I just knew I was going to be rich. But I knew that was a mask, because I wanted love. I wanted safety. I wanted security. I wanted happiness. And I wanted to be Ashley M. Fox and love who I saw in the mirror. And I knew the more I got into the public eye, I couldn't handle it. So I took some time
to fix you.
Almost 2 years of just being with Ashley. I started to travel alone. I just started to do a lot with Ashley alone. And I love the person who I became.
So this all happens, you're not on your financial journey. Is this before Wall Street?
No,
this is,
I'm 35 now. This was 28, 29.
Okay, so this is
after I left
Wall Street. So this is you understanding financial literacy, knowing that you're going to be rich, but realizing that I don't think I'm going to be loved the way I want to be loved until I make some changes.
And I now know why I don't think I'm lovable.
Exactly.
So now how about, Ashley, you love you?
Yes.
so that you can demand love and receive love from someone else. And it was interesting. At that time, I had only been in one relationship, and that was my first boyfriend in high school. All through 20s, there were guys that I loved, but there was no relationship. I got into a relationship. And this guy, I knew so much about myself and how to love myself. It was so easy for me to love him. But he was everything.
Hold on, this is in high school? You thought like this? Or it's like,
No.
Shit, you deep as a motherfucker.
No.
I think I said this in seventh grade. She knew she needed to be loved.
This is early, after the 2 years.
Yeah, got you. This is after you come up your sabbatical. You're about like, I'm ready for the world.
Now, so then the love came to me. I watched how I created what it was I felt like I deserved. But I went so hard in wanting what my father wasn't that I got everything my father isn't. No, so he was the opposite of all the other men. So he was not the strong man. He was not the provider. I felt like in a relationship, if I fell backwards, he couldn't catch me.
I feel like your breakups are very diplomatic.
What do you mean?
I feel like you just like have like you kind of like got this. I feel like your breakups are like that prompter right there. So look, my name is Ashley M. Fox. And I'm here to tell you that I'm no longer happy in this relationship. Applause. And they be like, oh, the applause is over. Now, I just feel like it's very diplomatic.
There's always a moment of clarity. And
that's what I mean. Like, the nigga left, he understands. She broke up with me. Why? Because I did this. Nigga has a whole speech. Like, I know. Like, you seem like a very diplomatic person. Like, you understand. I'm not going to do business with this nigga in 5 years. Let me just make sure I let him down. Sloth. We're going to be good.
No, but he was an amazing person for that version of Ashley. That version of Ashley yearned for love. I was so against what my dad was because I felt like he was the reason I pushed love away. So I got all the emotion my father couldn't give me. But if I fell, he couldn't catch me. If he fell, I could catch him. And I learned that there were so many things I loved about my dad. And that's when I realized how about
make you appreciate him.
My dad, yes. Yeah. So now it's like my partner now is a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And because I now know the things I love about my father.
Yes.
I now know all the things my father couldn't give me.
Yes.
That I feel like I deserved. And when the previous relationship, when that ended, I had more work to do. Yeah. I learned more about what I wanted in a man, what I felt like I deserved. And then I went on another trip. That's when I was living in Paris and I was just by myself and learning I was never that girl who had to be in a relationship or went out to go talk to guys. I'm a firm believer that what you want will come to you when you're ready.
Me too.
And then I ended up with the guy that I'm with now, but he's a little bit of my dad and he's a little bit of what my father wasn't able to be. And it works for me.
Yeah, but you said one thing that I think that we don't focus on. If there's one thing that was said this entire interview, I think that should be focused on is you said he was right for who I was then.
Correct.
A lot of us are making decisions based on who we are now, but we know we're a work in progress. So why are you making permanent decisions? Because sometimes people be trying to keep you in the same place, right? Like, it's like, yeah, but he's trying to keep you there because he met you there. Like, well, I like where I'm at. Like, now you want to go somewhere else, and it's like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
So I like that you said that, because if there's one thing I want black women to know is like, it's okay to want love, but if you are a work in progress, then you have to remember that if you get whatever you get today, that doesn't mean that 2 years from now, that's who you're going to be.
Right.
So you got to have someone who is ready to adapt and grow with you.
Right. And I don't think I ever... in my previous relationship, I was with a guy who only wanted to do the work because he felt like he had to do the work because I did the work. And I've learned that when you're around me, I guess I don't say it out loud, but it's like there is no time in this world that I'm not working on Ashley.
Yeah. And
I demand that, I guess, naturally of the people that I'm around.
I demand. I'm like, yeah, nigga. Now we get to the real. Let's go.
I don't say it.
Yeah.
But when my last relationship ended, I felt like I was so good at loving Ashley that I had enough love to love him too and us. He didn't love him, so he couldn't have loved me.
So why didn't you do the work with him?
That's not my job. That's not my job. Is not to do the work for you.
No. I didn't say do the work for him. What I mean by that is like obviously you came from a place where you decided more.
Right.
And you realized that at the place you stood, you couldn't get more, so you went to go be more. That's balls.
Right.
Right? That's every success story, right? I wanted more, so I went for it, right? So So that's your story, but he might not want more.
Well, and to this day, I believe that is the case.
And see, that's what I'm trying to say. So that's
but
what I
he
mean by,
wanted more because Ashley wanted more, which then doesn't work because now you're not authentic to who you are. You are adapting to the person you're with. I want to love you for who you are, and you are confident. He what?
He's being a beta.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
I'm just letting you see. I want you to just understand, like, so. Like my gift is always be,
but
I could pick up on shit quick. I like that was my gift in the music business. I would meet people and instantly become their friend. I'll see a hat, I'll see a shoe, I'll see something and make a connection with them. I was always my gift. So I'm hearing you, but I'm like, I've talked to so many women and it's like, when you see people and these personalities, it's like, man, sometimes I'd be interested in like who your partner is. Like, who is your partner? Like, like because especially when you are a self-motivated improver of life, like that has to be fucking draining unless it's you.
Right, and it wasn't. But my partner that I have now, he loved himself before he met Ashley.
Yep.
He was going to therapy. He was doing his own work.
Yep.
Now we do work separately on the same path. So he motivates me. I motivate him. But after the last relationship, it was like, I don't want anybody that does the work because I do the work. I want you to want to do the work for you. We don't got to be the same. I want to love you for who you are, and I did.
You know what you just said, right?
What?
You know what you just said, did you? You said, I want a leader.
I did not say that either.
You said, I want someone that does the work because they want to do the work.
Okay, fine,
not because I'm doing the work.
Well, we both have to be leaders.
He was following you.
We both have to be leaders in our own spaces.
Or say, yeah, because we, certain times we ain't gonna lead together. Certain times gonna be like, this is what the fuck we do. And sometimes with you is the same way. Sometimes I'm not saying like, it's like when I be talking about vacation and shit, we took the kids to Miami this year. Like, who the fuck takes kids to Miami? That's what the plan was when I realized, okay, I still did it. So I'm cool with that. The kids just have a fucked up fucking spring break. They in Miami for the day. They supposed to be in Orlando. I don't want to go to Orlando. I want to go to Miami. I need to lay on the beach. Okay. But you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, I don't mind shit like that. But when you start, I put like this is the ultimate compliment because I felt your power. Like I feel KG's power. Like I love when I meet powerful women because that is a sign because I feel like women need a leader right now. And I feel like they only want to follow the nigga they with, but them niggas be dumbasses.
But I also feel like we both need leaders.
Who needs leader?
Men need leaders.
God is our leader. That's how
Well, who's the woman's leader?
The man. That's how God set it up. God, man, wife. Is that not, am I not, somebody in the Bible, am I tripping? Is that not how I'm supposed to go in the Bible? Nobody reads the Bible in here.
I am
they changed the Bible. They changed the Bible. Yo, that's supposed to be the thing. They like certain shit that they want to rewrote it. Like, we gonna let gay people. We gonna let everybody gonna be free in this motherfucking Bible. This the Mike Jack Bible, nigga. What y'all talking about, nigga? Nah, but I'm fucking with you because like obviously I see a strong woman and it's fun, but I'm just kind of like, man, like I just can imagine like it's probably like I don't know who will want to date me. Like I'm impossible.
I think my boyfriend does a damn good job.
Good. Let's clap for this nigga. What's his name? What's his name? We don't say his name. No. Let's say boy. He ain't doing that damn good yet because if he was doing great, Mike Whitley. And his Instagram is I am Mike. I'm just saying. I'm just fucking with him. Just fucking with him. Listen. We have fun here. We just talk shit.
No, I think I was just telling her. I think. He is a professional lover and supporter of Ashley and Fox.
That is so beautiful.
I think he loves me better than... Yes.
Ashley and Fox Incorporated.
Yes.
You got to be a fan of the business and a woman.
Yes. He does a very, very good job for someone who for so long thought she was unlovable. Yeah.
We want to talk to this nigga, man. This nigga need a day. This nigga need a bone of blue cat. We need to get this nigga a day. He needs his own day dealing with this. Cause you are for like dog. When I be around KG, because KG is a very powerful minded woman. So I be around her, I'm like, her nigga probably just be like, yeah. Anytime KG talk to me, I'm like, it's like, cause Ray, you're gonna do this, right? Yeah. You wanna sit here on the couch, you're gonna read it, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, nigga. I don't wanna do this all day, nigga. Leave me the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? You gotta realize that. So I'm just giving. Listen, if we can't have fun with each other, what can we do? So tell us about you. April 25th is Teach Children to Save Day. Is
Okay.
that you know?
So-
you learning too.
I am learning.
I'm reading
teleprompter. I've heard of it.
KG wrote that shit, and I better say it. She's texting me right now. Say it. Teleprompter. I'm like, nigga, she don't even know yet. No, I'm just fucking. Go ahead.
Yes, I think I'm a big proponent of. I always say there's 3 types of parents.
Okay.
You have the one parent who doesn't save and invest for their kids.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, you might not know. You have the second parent who does save and invest for their kids. They do it on their own. And you have the third that saves and invests for their kids with their kids. And so I remember my father was good with money, but I didn't learn how to pay a bill till I got my first bill. I didn't know what a credit card was until they issued me one.
Thank God.
I didn't know how to go to college until I got a student loan and I had extra money. You know, so.
By the way, that's beautiful. You
What?
need to celebrate that.
What? That's
know
when
some
I
people
learned?
I know some people who were 13 and the washer and dryer was in their name.
Oh, okay.
bills in
No,
their
wait.
name.
I didn't go up like that.
That's what I'm just saying. So I mean, you still it was
Oh,
still
yeah.
like I had fucked up credit when I was 18.
Okay,
I didn't
no.
even know how. My name. I didn't know what the fuck it was. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that you need to learn how to build wealth from the smallest things with money before it happens. And the youngest that I have taught, and the youngest that our company Empify has taught, is 8 years old. I've gone on TV teaching 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds how to buy stock. Because if the child can work an iPad, the child can buy stock. The problem is the parents are not making building wealth a standard because they don't feel worthy enough to do it. And I challenge people to start small and build big.
Do you think it's an insecurity?
Absolutely.
I already say, as a parent, I want, like, nothing would scare me more than my child wanting to do something that I couldn't help him do. Like, I want to be a rocket science. I'm like, oh, no, nigga, I know it. I know somebody in every spectrum. I will call Mike and Dora. I will get to a motherfucker. I will call Shaka. I'm going to call somebody. I'm going to get to who I need to get to help my kids. So I think a lot of parents don't help because it's like you said about a teacher. I always wanted to go back to school. I want to go back to college. I just want to go back. I'm like, I just feel like it'll be fire. But I'm like, how can I take this teacher's lesson when I know I'm more successful and I got more balls than them?
Well, you can't think like that, though.
I don't know how not to.
I
I was having this conversation. Let me ask you a question. You have kids yet?
No, I'm an auntie.
Okay, so your auntie. Okay, so I was asking somebody this. Think about this. What can a teacher really teach Jay-Z and Beyonce kids? Like, think about that. Like, what can a teacher teach them? Like, nigga, their father.
On.
No. Okay, so maybe I'll give you this.
Okay.
Maybe I'm only speaking like this because I learned in the streets.
Okay.
So I wasn't a book. Like, I learned I got rich from the mud, nigga. I didn't know shit. I didn't know nothing. I just learned it. So obviously that my perspective is school didn't do nothing for me. It just showed me how to be a part of a social construct of anything, right? But even that doesn't matter if you got a bigger picture. If you know something's more for you out there, it's like that doesn't matter. So when I'm speaking to my kids or anybody, I'm like my kids, like little Raymond, I give an example. Little Raymond to get a bad grade in school, and his mom would be like, "Say something." I'm like, "Say what?" I don't know what to say. Like, all I'm gonna really tell him is, "Hey man, you signed up for it, finish it." I don't know what to say. Like, I'm not. How can I would be a liar if I tell him science 101 is important. Man, that shit ain't helped me. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, it's like, so when I'm saying that to say about the teacher thing is that imagine being a teacher in Silicon Valley teaching these kids that are gonna run the world how to run the world. Nigga, you ain't even running the world. That's how they look at you though. You don't agree with that?
No.
Really? Cause you're a girl.
Because what?
A woman.
No, we can't throw gender in here either.
I'll tell you why I say that. Hear me out. Hear me out. Your job, this whole interview, this beautiful interview has been about the path that your father laid for you, even when you didn't know it was there.
Okay.
That's what we've been celebrating, that love. That's what a father is. He wasn't worried about you feeling like you needed love. He was worried about you being okay because he knew when you ran into love, he wants you to pick it because you want it, not because you got it. You got to. So he was setting the path for you already. But like you said, when you went to be in finance, he was like, how can I, like, I'm a police officer. Like, I understand this. You got a big dream. I don't even know what to say. So your mind was too big for him to understand that you wanted to go global. By the way, that's not his fault. He's just speaking from his perspective. But when I think about my kids or I think about a teacher, I'm always thinking like, how are you gonna tell me how to live life right and you making $30,000 a year, my nigga?
But it's not about One.
That's what a woman would say.
No.
As a man,
Because
any man with me, Chad? Does any man agree with me?
No. Let me speak my piece.
I want you to know that I'm not saying it to be an asshole.
No.
Do you agree? You probably don't agree with that, do you?
He didn't hear my side.
You're a woman. Go ahead. I want to hear.
One, everything happens for a reason. Every experience is meant to teach you something. Because if you use that same scenario, I made more money than my dad in my early 20s. So does that mean he can't teach me anything because he doesn't make more money than me?
No, he taught you discipline.
But how do you know what Beyonce or Jay-Z's daughter's teacher is not teaching there? You think Jay-Z and Beyonce don't have their own flaws, their own traumas, their own issues?
I think they do, but I think that they are the two human beings, but outside of Michelle and Barack, who are so fucking smart and so fucking talented that they have built the entire universe that they run. And so anybody that comes in their universe follows their rules. That's all I'm saying.
But how many rich kids have you seen go out of the family legacy?
I'm talking about rich. You talking about, see, there's a lot of rich kids. I was being specific about them as parents. Only them. I'm not talking about some of these other niggas that's got millionaires. They need their parents, they need their kids in school learning. But I'm speaking
and why don't you think Jay-Z and Beyonce, or how about she just needs to be around normal people?
I gotta ask you a question.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yes.
This is gonna sum it up. Watch this. I like you, by the way. I can argue with you all day. I like this. Let me ask you a question. You don't have a child yet, but let's say you do.
Okay.
Your child has an opportunity to either go to a regular nice private school, high private school, or they can go learn from and be in the Beyonce and Jay-Z universe and learn what they learn. Which one are you picking?
What is the Beyonce? What does that mean?
I don't know. Jay-Z got Rock Nation. It could be anything. I don't know. I'm just saying they could be in their universe and learn from them. They could either go to a private school or they could do an internship. They're doing an intern for Beyonce and Jay at 8. Which one do you want?
They're going to go to school if that's what my child wants to do.
Which one do you want? I'm asking.
Whatever one they want to, that I believe will give them the best education and the best experience because I have unlimited resources to do it.
And guess what?
I'll build them the damn school.
And I love that. But guess what? I love that you said that. That's beautiful. But what I'm speaking about, you are saying what I'm saying. Nigga, I can do it myself. I can build my own if I want that. That's all I'm saying to you.
But I know that I'm not teaching the class.
I ain't saying you teach the class.
I'm just going to pay for the best teacher to teach my kids.
The way you want them to learn. And what you want them to learn. But
they're kids. They don't know how to make decisions anyway.
No.
But
the teacher, most kids in the school make it.
You're changing the subject,
What's the subject I said?
The whole premise of my emotion towards this topic was that the teacher, the $30,000, $40,000 teacher adds no value because we're measuring their impact by how much money they make.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I meant. Let me tell you what I meant. What I meant is that we are teaching mind you, I said science too. I didn't say I said that about math. I didn't say I said that about English. But I'm saying when my son gives me, and I tell him to focus on political science because political science is about history and business and politics, and I think you should focus on that. But when you like dad, like it's like, okay, so when I have a child, this is how it goes when daddy walks in the house. Mom is like, Raymond got a bad grade. I'm like, okay, Raymond, what happened? Man, the teacher said, boom, 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 man, fuck that teacher.
I would not say that to my child.
Can I finish?
I would not say
I wasn't finished with my statement. Okay. I was not finished. Fuck that teacher. Hear me out. The world, when you get out to the real world, the most of the shit they teach you ain't gonna work. And it didn't work for them. That's why they are what they are. So don't allow, hear me out, let me finish. You gotta let me finish, it's important. Because remember, I'm talking to my son. I'm not trying to be an enemy. I'm talking to my child. I love everything. And I'm saying to him, and I'm like, and I want you to understand that teacher ain't responsible for what you're gonna be in life. I am. So learn what you got to learn from them. Do your work because you signed up for it. Mm-hmm. Raymond, daddy goes to work and meets with hundreds of people that he doesn't want to meet with. But I do it because that's my fucking job. So you do it because it's your job. But don't let it have no inclination on your confidence and how you believe in yourself. Because I'm here to tell you that you're going to be whatever the fuck you want to be because I'm going to push you there. That's what I mean.
Okay.
So and by the way, the reason why I said that is because Jay-Z has a line where he says, on So Ambitious, where he says, I was so inspired by what my teacher said. They said, beat it up. They said, I'd be either dead or a reefer head. Mm-hmm. And then he said, I don't know, but that's how a teacher can speak to kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, especially when I was a kid that only I talked in class, I teach his ass. Mm-hmm. Oh, my uncle, then he talks about his uncle. And I'm like, that line registered with me because he became a billionaire in spite of the teacher. He didn't become a billionaire because of the teacher. So you think I'm gonna let anybody have that? And by the way, we also talked about our parents enforcing their experiences. When we saw when Jay and Beyonce was at the fucking Super Bowl, the kids was there. Them kids is probably getting teach, and they probably watching. What you teaching my baby? Hey, don't tell my child that. They can be whatever the fuck they want to be. I wasn't told I could be anything I wanted to be when I was a kid. I wasn't told shit besides, by the way, what do I get paid to do? What you get paid to do? Talk. What's the one thing you're not supposed to do in class? Talk. Nigga, son, guess what, nigga? When you get out of school, you gonna better talk all you want. Nobody gonna tell you nothing. And you're gonna talk that shit and get this money. Like, you're talking that shit, get this money. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, no teacher taught you this.
No. Okay, so
the passion. I ain't talking about the lesson. I mean the passion.
Yeah. I truly believe things are not taught; they're caught. That's the first thing. I am not a full-fledged fan of the education system.
That's all I was.
No. It was the. I don't feel like because someone makes less money or they chose a different path that they cannot teach me anything.
That's not what I was saying though. What I was speaking about the grade. I was speaking about that person being in charge of grading you. That's right. What
No. So I think I was with the second half of the speech with your kid.
But I'm saying, Daddy gonna come in hot, then cool it off. Mom gonna come in cool and it's just an approach.
But I do believe that how you raise your children and your family comes from your experience. Because I could say the complete opposite. School is the reason that I went to Wall Street.
I love
Wall
that.
Street is the reason that I realized that I could be wealthy. But I would have never got there if I would have never got great grades in every class that helped me graduate with honors. So I followed that American trajectory. I decided it wasn't the best for me with the path that it led me to. But for some people it is. Like, I'm now trying to hire some of the best executives that I want to take from somebody else's job because I know that their intellect is what this business needs to thrive.
And guess what? They're going to be working for Ashley and Fox Incorporated.
No, they're going to be working at Empify Incorporated. No. And if they're damn good, they might just ask for equity and I might just give it to them.
But everything is you are empowered. And that's what I love.
Yeah, but
you took it yourself.
But some people don't. They just don't know to think or ask for that, or know that they can, or to like. There are people that are high, like in regards to demanding a salary, demanding equity. They just don't know their worth, and that comes from their experience. Just like how you raise your children comes from your experience. But
Absolutely.
Just because someone has a job and did not go through the path that I went through, that does not make them less qualified or more qualified than Ashley.
I just know they are qualified to teach kids. But the school system...
Well, the school system is jacked up.
The school system is set up to teach kids how to be workers. Can we agree to that?
Yeah, correct.
So what I'm saying is that my dream for my child and his dream for himself is bigger than being a worker.
Well, my child is not going to that kind of school.
That's true. But he wanted to go... I want to put him in private school, but I think he like being popular in public school. He like it. He's really popular. He's a good-looking kid. And, you know, his dad is in the music business. Like, I think it's cool. I think he enjoys that part of it.
And let him.
I want him to.
And that's okay.
And I agree. But when someone tries to pull him down, and someone tries to make him feel like he's less than because he's not passing, I got to remind him that it's just a grade. And it's just a test, and it's not real life. That's all I mean. But I say fuck the teacher.
It is real life for a child.
You think so?
Just because you didn't go through the education system and you chose a different route, right? Like,
I kind of did.
Yeah, which is fine, but that doesn't. I chose a different route than you.
No, but you're right. But we're all talking about fathers giving their kids what they know, all they know.
Yeah.
I would be a contradictor if I sit down with my son and be like, "You about to read that book and get," because that's not what I did. It's just now my daughter, I'm hands off.
Come on.
What's wrong with that?
What do you mean hands off?
She can get. My daughter is the princess of the world.
Oh my goodness.
She can get whatever she wants. I love her, and I just say yes to her. Her mother is her disciplinarian.
Oh my gosh.
No, listen. I ain't gonna lie. I know my daughter made me a weak nigga. Like, I go home early because of her. Like, I go home and sit in her room, and sometimes she looks at me like, "What's up, Dad?" Like, you know what she does? She pauses her TV when I walk in. That's the rudest shit in the world to me. She pauses it, meaning like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" Like, I'm like, "So were you waiting for me to leave to turn that back on?" Like, I'm interrupting you. So I'm a sucker for my daughter. Talking to me about a daughter is like a waste of time, because all I'm gonna say is yes, 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 whatever you want. I love you. Yes, 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 yes. That's how I think a daddy should be to his daughter. That's how I think I should be.
Okay.
Now my son is different. I got to prepare them for the world.
Well, so I'm not a man and I don't have any kids.
That's what I'm saying. But when you guys do, you'll realize, like when you and your partner do, or if you guys do, you'll realize that the relationship, a child changes the dynamics based on the sex of the child.
Okay.
So like if me and you are together, we have a daughter, at some point in time, you're going to feel a little jealousy. It's impossible. It's just impossible. If you have a daughter, a boy, it's the same thing. That's why they call them daddy's girl and mama's boys, because boys are going to be up under their mama, and the dad is like, get your ass out of here. I started telling little Remy yesterday, man, it's time for you to go. It's grown people time. Nigga, go upstairs. Like, and Miyoki, I never kick out the room. She'll be like, it's time to go to bed. She'll just climb on top of me, lay down. Hey, she stuck. She ain't going nowhere. Rub her back. You going to sleep, mama. I'll carry you upstairs. It's just different. That's why I think it's important in 2-parent households.
I 100% agree with that.
That's what I mean.
100% agree with that.
We shouldn't have to be at all. But by the way, this is an amazing conversation.
Yes.
And we're going way over time, but I'm having fun arguing. So I'm going to get back to a couple of questions I have to ask you. So listen, we have this part of the show. No, first of all, I just want to get into a little bit more Empify.
Okay.
So how would one interact with Empify? Like, if I want to work with Empify, and I don't know you, how does it work?
So Empify, look at Empify like the parent. We are the Harvard of finance, right?
Okay.
How do you interact with Empify? You can be a company. We can implement our programs, resources in your institution. So we've worked with large Fortune 500 companies, bringing financial education to your employees, to your...
That's what I was trying to get you. Like
right.
So if a company hired you, it wouldn't be to help them with their finances. It would be to help.
Yeah. So I'm not a finance. I don't do
That's
individual. Yeah. We are the school we wish the school system gave us.
So anybody at home watching this that wants to learn financial literacy, all they can do is go to
Empify.com. Correct. Yeah.
We're gonna argue all this time just to say Empify. I'm going to Empify.com right now. Why I thought we had to say. I'm just trying. Empify.com. So all I gotta do is go to Empify.com, register, and is it like a course? Is it like a monthly course?
So so we have online classes. We have a lot of free resources and guides, but thousands of people are inside of our membership app. So that's called the Wealth Builders Community. So that's the tech arm. So that's how we massively can reach people in over 23 different countries all over the world. And we're like the Netflix of finance.
Gotcha.
So you have access to over 250 hours of classes, tools, and resources in the palm of your hand.
Gotcha.
We have events. We have in-person events. We have conferences. We have classes. But we teach you starting from Stocks 101, Stocks 102, dividend investing. We help you invest in REITs. We help you invest in plan for retirement, life insurance. We just launched our legacy planning boot camp in honor of my father. Hey, we've got people that have invested thousands of dollars by themselves, for themselves, but alongside us. So we've guided you, we've pushed you, but you open your account, you invest for you open accounts for your kids. And now that they're building this wealth, how are they going to protect it and pass it down? And so now we have a legacy plan.
Is it like a program where I can actually interact with you guys?
Yeah, there's
so for example, I mean, it's not a lot because I got my Rob plans. He has stuff set up for my kids, but I wanted to do something for him, so I put money in Acorn. So I think I might. It's like maybe $80K now, and I'm like, when little Raymond, he's 15. When he turns 18, I'm gonna give him 75% of the money, and I'm gonna put more in Miyoki. He's probably gonna get like 100,000 plus. But like, do you have like programs that helps with stuff like that?
You would come into our app to learn what to invest in
and how to do it
and how to get it done.
I'm just trying to make sure I understand because I feel like this new world we in is the Wild Wild West, and a lot of people don't really understand how people are doing what they're doing.
Correct.
And it's a lot of these brilliant entrepreneurs out here who are creating avenues and ways to make money, and I feel like we don't. I love to focus on that because like, what made you think? Because it's like you basically just found a spot adjacent to the world you want to exist in, which is finance, and you planted your flag and said, this is what I'm gonna do here, and it's working. So I'm always just like curious like how it works.
Yeah, so I think I felt like the world needed financial education. You can't walk into a bank and learn how to buy a stock. If you don't have the money or the resources, they will only call you when your bank account balance is a certain balance. Yeah. If you have bad credit, they're not going to talk to you. So where do you go to effectively build wealth despite who you are, what you look like, and how much money you have?
Yeah,
and that's what Empify is. Yes.
So we're going to Empify. I mean, we just solved it. So, so listen, last 2 questions.
Okay.
So we have this part of the show, this segment called Credit Check, which, by the way, Empify should sponsor. Is Credit Check. Just talking to Mike. I ain't talking to you. Talking to that nigga right there. No, but for real. Because I hate when people say, let's give people their flowers. Like, give them their flowers. Like, man, fuck flowers. Give me my credit. I could leverage that and go get something for it. So, like, this is a moment for you to give credit to 2 or 3 unsung heroes in the actually M. Fox story that you just want to shout out for a role that they played in helping you become who you are. Who would those people be?
Can I say my daddy?
You absolutely better.
So my father, his tough love allowed me to become the Ashley
What's
M.
his
Fox.
name?
Lamont Fox.
Lamont sound like a nigga that don't play, boy. Lamont is a name. I ain't never met a Lamont that played. Have you ever met a Lamont that played? Yeah, Lamont, that's one of them names that don't play. Lamont is a nigga name on BMF. Lamont don't play. That is a character. I love it. Okay, cool. Your father, Lamont. I love that. Lamont Fox.
Yes. Without him, I wouldn't have wanted to strive to be successful. He was the most successful person in my eyes for a very, very, very long time.
I love that.
I got my work ethic, my desire, my passion. And in his passing, I think I got a bigger heart to continue to be successful and to thrive and to share my knowledge and experience on the world with an intentional heart, a giving heart, and a purposeful heart.
Now, anytime I hear about a daughter talk about her father, it's weakness for me because my daughter got me fucked up. Yo. She's not even funny, nigga. It's like, she like my little boss. Okay, cool. Give me some more names.
My mother.
See? Let's clap for her mom. Let's clap for her mama. What's her name?
Her name is Laura Fox.
Laura's are always sweet. It's hard. It's rare to meet a sweet Laura. I mean, a hard Laura. Laura's always sweet. Lamont's don't play. It was all in the house. It was right there. It was everything was set up for you.
So I think while my dad was rough, she loved. She never missed a parent-teacher conference. She never missed a tennis match. She was the ultimate mother, and I never felt less than. I'm one of 3, the oldest of 3, and she's been there. She's seen the good, the bad, the ugly of Ashley when she wanted to be on Wall Street, to Ashley getting kicked out after she left Wall Street, to Ashley making her first $1 million as a result of what she learned on Wall Street. So I think my mom's love and always having somebody there means the world to me.
One more.
Dang, this is hard. Y'all should tell me.
What about the boyfriend? Like, we don't like.
Wait.
The partner. Let's get this nigga some credit. So he's perfect. Okay. Women don't never get a nigga no credit. It's like daddy, mama, my old cousin who I ain't seen in 15 years. She was always there. Like, I was just fucking. I'm giving you a hard time.
I had to do it in order.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but I will say my partner.
He's like, I don't want that shit. We giving it to him.
He was there when I made my first $1 million. He was there when I'm sitting here talking about making $1 billion. He's seen the good, the bad, the ugly. He knows who Ashley Marie Fox is, not Ashley M. Fox. He knows Ashley. And he still chooses to love her despite how the world sees her.
How does the world see?
I'm Ashley M. Fox. I know what the world needs to believe.
Yes. Oh, I get what you said. I know what you said. Like the character. You basically understand the character.
Right.
Okay.
And I only tell my story after I go through it. I don't feel like I am. When I was getting kicked out of my apartment in Harlem when I left Wall Street, you didn't find out until after I got through that eviction. I don't think I'm valuable if I'm trying to figure it out. I am valuable when I have figured it out. But I have no problem sharing my experience with the world. So he's there to see the behind the scenes of what I'm going through today that will one day become my story after I get through this phase of life. And he's good because he's good at loving himself, and he has space to love my authentic self.
We love that.
Yes.
That's good. All right, last question. So this show is called The God Show. God is an acronym for goats and underdogs.
Okay.
What do you consider yourself, a goat or underdog? And if you consider yourself an underdog, what do you feel like you want to accomplish for you to say I'm the GOAT?
I'm the GOAT.
You ready to go?
Yes. Now,
let's clap for that. Let's clap for that.
I got a disclaimer.
No disclaimers? No. No, we don't say we're the GOAT. They say, let me tell you why.
I am the GOAT in knowing who I am.
Ooh.
And what I want for myself and the world. As I continue to become an even stronger, wiser, more self-aware GOAT, there are moments where I'm the underdog. And it's in those moments where I'm just getting started in my becoming of the next version of Ashley.
I like that. You definitely went through a lot of therapy. When you talk to people, y'all, you just know when someone has been through therapy. They talk. You can't trap them. You can't trap someone that's been in therapy. You can put them in a corner. They're going to be like, well, spiritually speaking, because that's emotionally you're talking about. I'm talking about spiritual. Like you can talk. Now, I'm just giving you a hard time. But no, I appreciate you. We celebrate you. We don't allow anybody on this couch unless they are considered a GOAT. And I think GOATs are people who was. So it's this documentary you should watch. It's called Power of Film. It's incredible. It's on HBO. And he says that every character that we see in the movie, the main character, the movie usually starts with the character, us showing them the character's fate. And at some point during the movie, the character decides his destiny. And that's when they go down the long journey and the hell and everything to get to the other side, to the win. So we celebrate you because you chose your destiny and you ain't let fate choose it for you. And it takes balls to do that. And you are a woman, so you got some balls. Let's clap for the woman. It takes balls to do it. I mean, listen, it takes courage to do it. I'm not, I don't know how to say balls is not physical balls, but it takes courage to do it. It's not physical, but I'm saying, because like anytime I run into somebody, I'm always impressed by people who decided, I think I could do more and go for it. And you're gonna fail 95% of the time. But that 5 is gonna pay for everything though. And if you live in the failures, you don't deserve to win anyway. You gotta learn from the failures and get up the next day and go. So anytime, especially a woman, when I see somebody who that's why I love Pinky. That's why I love these ballsy women who's like, fuck that, it's more. And y'all black women, and it's like, it's even better now. You know what I'm trying to say? So we celebrate you. Shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Tote and Carry. Shout out to Two Laws Distribution. And shout out to Yoko Vodka. And shout out to y'all for watching. And shout out to Ashley M. Fox. Do not approach her and say Ashley or Fox or Ashley Fox. Get that fucking M in there. Because it stands for Marie.
You're right.
This is the God Show. We are out. Let's go. That was fun.